Yo, what is going on? It is me. It's that wrestling dude, man. And we got a very first here tonight for you. First ever third generation wrestler, man. Half of the NWA United States champions as a country gentleman. The
That's right.
Bullhead Brute, AJ Cazana. Welcome, man.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Good, man.
Try to
Thanks for
give you a
coming on,
little
man.
ambiance back here. Make
I'm
sure all my
feeling it.
lighting's right, to make it pretty. Oh, that
I'm
didn't
feeling
help
it.
at
I'm feeling
all.
it, man.
Sheesh. Watch this. Look, dude, this is called professionalism. And it looks the same. I didn't fix it. That's above my pay grade, I reckon.
Yes,
After
sir.
starting
Yes,
this one.
sir. Let's get into it, man. Who trained you? How long you been in the biz, and where you based out of right now?
Oh, man. I was trained by the great Dr. Tom Pritchard and Glenn Jacobs down here in Knoxville, Tennessee at Jacobs Pritchard Wrestling Academy. I've been in the business for a hot minute, about going on 5 years. I've been around it my whole life, obviously, but I've been officially a part of it since 2020, the good old COVID year.
Okay.
And, what was that last part of that question? I done forgot.
Where you based out of?
Oh, Knoxville, baby. Bullhead
Not
Range.
born and
Sweet visit.
raised.
Bullhead Range.
All right. Before we go down to about you, man, can't get into you without getting into your family first. Your rich history. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about that?
Well, their history, it goes back all the way to 1933. My great grandfather, John Cazana, was spotted in a gym by the world champion at the time. And he said, "Hey, kid, you look real good. Would you like to get into wrestling?" And my great grandfather was like, "I guess." And the rest is history. So, but before that, I tell people that we come. My great grandfather Cazana, John Cazana, came from Greece. Him and my Kiki, his wife, Catherine, both immigrated from Greece when they were 3 or 4 years old. Met in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I tell people that we've got a lineage that go back to the Hellenic Games. The
Yeah.
Olympics.
Yep.
We were winning wreaths before medals were a thing.
Yeah.
But no, but the pro wrestling side of it started in 1933. He got seen at a gym out of all places, and just like, "Hey man, you want to try this?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And so he did that. Dad came around. It didn't really skip a generation. You could make the argument that me and my brother are both fourth generation wrestlers. It just depends on how you look at it. My grandmother, my yaya Teddy Theodora, she didn't get into the in ring wrestling, but she was a part of the accounting office for John Kazana's Wild World of Wrestling and the ticket booth.
Okay.
So, she was in the business, but not in the business.
I'd rep that as fourth generation.
I tell people fourth generation. What are they going
Yeah.
to do? Punch me for it and tell me I'm lying? No. They're going to fight me on it? No. But no, so I tell people fourth generation. Along comes Dad. 1986 is when he started. He started training in 85, got his first match in 86. NWA, WCW, a couple stints with WWF. Fun story about him is at one point he was 300 plus pounds at 5'10", 5'11". Dusty Rhodes pulled him in a room, I think, with Jody Hamilton and said, "Hey, kid, we really like your wrestling, Joe. The problem is you're just too damn fat." Sent him home. So if you'll go lose the weight, we'll give you a contract. So sent him home. He lost 100 pounds, goes back. Sure enough, Dusty was a man of his word, and he started kind of wrestling full time there and making a living on the road. And we met. My dad, the pro wrestler, met my mom, who could give two craps about pro wrestling. Really, just happened to be at a show where my aunt was dating one of my dad's buddies. I don't know if I should drop names, but my aunt was dating a wrestler, and then went to the show, and then they met Smoky Mountain Times, and then mom and dad, and then they got married, had us.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's the next best step. So they had us, and then I just kind of fell into wrestling by a fluke. Stopped playing football in 2011. Spent a few years kind of lost. Started coaching football wrestling. Had a stint with Dad. Did a little something with him for his first retirement match.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never really retire, but he had his
Nope.
first retirement match, and I played ball at the University of Tennessee, so I got to run through the Power T, and the goosebumps of running in front of 100,000 people wearing that beautiful Tennessee orange was almost matched by the feeling I got getting in the ring for the first time, and that high from the reaction and being in the moment. So I was like, maybe there's something to this. I've been feeling this empty hole right here.
Yeah.
Ain't had nothing to fill it except alcohol, and trying to fill it with anything you could. And found wrestling and started training with Dad, and then officially started training with Dr. Tom in 2020. Again, I get into that story. I've told that story a million times about how it kind of just, my aunt Edna, I put her over big on this last podcast that I did. She was kind of the catalyst. Like my dad was training me every once in a while, and I said, well, Doc's opening up a school. Let me go train with him. And there's only a few people. Being a generational kid, there's only a few people that my dad would kind of be like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
And Tom Pritchard was one of them. Les Thatcher's another one, and but a couple of those guys. But my aunt Edna was like, well, I said, hell, if you really want to do this, I'll pay for it. I'm like, hold up. That's a nice fancy chunk of change. So come out of the house. She just moved to Decatur. And I went by her house and talked to her, and we squared something away. And she's been next to my mom and probably my dad, obviously, my number one supporter in professional wrestling. So without again, that's God. I just told you 8 different stories in one little without family, man, you ain't got nothing.
That's true.
So, that's how we got into this. It was literally just right place, right time, right people. My family loving me loving my family. Them believing in me before I even believed in myself, and they're like, "Hey, good luck. Here you go."
So you never wanted to get into wrestling as a kid, and even through college, it wasn't in the back of your mind like, hey, when I'm done with this, when I'm playing this over, I'm going in the business.
No, my dad always wanted to keep me out of wrestling.
Yeah.
It's not an easy lifestyle. Obviously, it's hard. It's not meant for the weak-minded people. It's not meant for the weak, spiritually weak people, physically weak people, or mentally weak people. Like if you're weak in any aspect, you're gonna have a bad time. You're on the road all the time. Even when you make it, like right now, I consider myself pretty close to being super comfortable with wrestling. I make a living, and I'm traveling the roads, and people pay me to wrestle. I'm currently the longest reigning United States Tag Team Champion in the modern era, especially in the Lightning One era. I'm only third behind Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. And we're carving a path for ourselves, and my brothers come right along with me. But it's a hard life to live, and it's not. You got to go to the gym. You got to diet right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, dude. I want to go out and party like Ric Flair says he did. And like, those guys say they used to and do all the different things and meet all the different people. But it's hard. Those are things that'll kill you if you're not careful. And people have gotten really close. People I know have gotten really close to doing just that. And that's not cool. And I hate that. So you got to be real careful, real strong in this business, man. So no, my dad didn't want me to have anything to do with it. He told me initially, he's like, if you graduate college, then we'll talk about you wrestling. Well, I think after my 8th or 9th year in college, you realize that maybe that's not going to happen. And when I dropped out the last time, and I was like, hey man, college ain't for me.
Yeah.
College was never really my thing. I was like, so how about it? And he's like, he kind of was hesitant, and then it just kind of flourished out of nowhere. And I honestly don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't wrestling right now. I'd probably be working a dead end job that I hate with people that I hate, sucking up to a boss that I don't respect, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So like the rest of us schlubs.
Well, you get to do podcasts and stuff. That's fun. No, yeah. I've done the 9-to-5 life. I've worked in fast food. I've worked in construction. I've done sales. I've done security. My favorite job outside of wrestling that I've had was bouncing at college bars. And I bartend occasionally when I get bored. So those are the best. I like the interactions with people, but this is I consider this my 9-to-5 job. I'm doing the social media stuff. You got to do the gym stuff, the diet stuff. You got to go train and take care of your body. Like today I had a massage. You got to rehab as much as you put in, So it's a tough life to live, man. And yeah, that's just ain't made for everybody,
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the thing is you gotta put in that real effort if you want to make an actual living out of it. Because you can tell the guys that half-assing in the ones that are really putting in that work.
Yeah. I've seen a few of both. Some that say they want it and they don't do the things that say they want it. Actions speak louder than words in a lot of cases, and that's one of them where you actually have to. You have to nut up and buckle down and like hustle. It's a hustle.
Yeah.
Like I tell my brother every day, like he's been very fortunate. He's approaching 2 years in the business. So he's young, he's greener than hell. His first match of the NWA was 6 months in. Just again,
Damn.
right place, right time, right situation, being in the right family, or having the right people being willing to bat for you. It wasn't even me and my dad that went to bat for him. It was Ricky Morton and Dr. Tom.
Okay.
So like he was doing ring crew, got kind of thrown in. He said, "Hey," they said, "Hey, we're gonna let you tag with your brother." Okay, cool, whatever. We'll see if the kid's got it. We went out and he showed out best he could at 6 months in, and man, it was lightning in a bottle at that point. But yeah, it's hard. And you got people that say, "Oh, well, this guy's going to make it because he's 8 feet tall, or his size alone will get him signed to the WWE." And I'm like, dude, this guy's been wrestling twice as long as I have, and has had zero exposure.
Yeah.
So like he's obviously doing something wrong, or he's just not good, or whatever. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, man. It's a lot of different moving pieces that you have to. You got to
put all up. Yeah, you got to put it all together, man. It ain't just about the look, and it ain't just about just the talking. It's all one big package, man.
You got
to separate yourself from everybody.
Yep. And you got it's a lot of the backstage stuff that people don't see. Like I know I piss people off when I talk, but I only piss people off because I'm very blunt. I don't mean any harm with anyone in what I say. I don't mean any foul intentions or ill will towards anybody. It's just, here's my opinion. I'm going to tell you because it's harder for me to lie to your face. I don't want to lie to you. I've never wanted to lie to anybody. So you got to be able to play the game. It's the politicking or whatever. You got to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You got to be able to do your socials and grow your following. You got to be able to be consistent in the gym. When I first started training, dude, I was working a 9-to-5 job at a corporate job at a credit union. I was coaching football full time, working out on my own. Going to train at Dr. Tom's 4 hours a night. And that doesn't include like my personal life and like trying to handle girls, handle my family, handle whatever. And it's it weighs on you. It's exhausting. And I don't think a lot of people are willing to go through that. So it's the embrace the suck you always hear. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people are willing to go through that suck to get to where they're at. Yeah. Or where they want to be.
Yeah. You're a natural since day one in the ring?
I wouldn't say day one. I wouldn't say natural. I think I've got a pretty good understanding of the business. I think my brother's got a pretty good understanding of the business. Again, we've been around it our whole lives. We're very fortunate to have a good support group that we watched it growing up. We get kind of what's going on. And Dad used to tell us little trinkets here and there. We used to, I knew how to do a lockup, headlock, and used to take a hip toss before I was even trained. Just because that's, Dad.
Yeah.
But being around Dr. Tom and my dad not being a sleaze bag and people actually liking him that are still in the business, Ricky Morton, Dr. Tom, Les Thatcher, you can name all the old heads, Jim Cornette, and all these guys that like look at my dad and they remember my dad from Smoky Mountain. They remember my dad from WCW and they're like, "Hey, that's Joe. Hey, you're Joe's kid." And then they'll take you and they help mold you. So it's natural. Hell no, man. This shit ain't natural. It ain't natural for nobody. It's now. Doing this might be natural for a lot of people, but getting in front of a camera and being able to do that consistently with little preparation, with enough gusto to entertain people, and having substance in your words, maybe comes natural to some people, but it's still tough.
Yeah. No, it's awkward the first couple of times too. You like cameras on, all right, start talking. It's a feeling like a thing you got to get over that first kind of couple of times before it starts feeling a little bit more natural to you.
Yep, I took a public speaking class in college, and I had to like break free of that because I'm not a prim and proper guy, but you're taught to talk prim and proper. You're taught to enunciate your words and to talk smooth and crisp and clear. And I can talk smooth, crisp, and clear, but the Bullhead Brute and Andrew Joseph here, AJ, aren't Chris. Like that's not us, and it's very apparent when that's not you. When you're trying to put on a front that's not you, especially in this business. So, man, I just recently got halfway decent at promos or comfortable and going and cutting promos, 1-offs, 2-offs, making, hitting my times and stuff, and you kind of get that built-in clock or whatever. But it's not natural, man. Ain't nothing about professional wrestling that's natural.
No.
The two things I chose to excel in life, football and professional wrestling, and both of them want to kill me faster than anything else. Your body's not made for either one, and here I am throwing my body around, getting bumped around. I played football for almost 20 years. It's the whole You just beat the hell out. Like, I'm just good at beating the hell out of myself, man.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Did you rep being a Cazana from the beginning, or you just try to hide that at first, just to kind of like get
Oh,
the
I dove straight into it, man. I didn't, and it wasn't necessarily for the name. My dad. Again, I said this the other day, and I don't mean any disrespect towards him. He knows it, but he never got that push to be the guy.
yeah
He was known in the wrestling business, and he was respected in the wrestling business as somebody who'd go out and work and deliver what was needed. But nobody ever really gave him the chance to say, "Hey, Joe, here you go, try this," and push
yeah
him to the top. So like the Cazana name's a great name. John Cazana, and especially in East Tennessee, man, John Cazana, even to this day, I've got people. I went to dinner with a buddy. I mean, this has been a year or so ago, and it happens here and there. I live in and around Knoxville, so like I went to dinner. John ran Knoxville for 20 years before he sold to the Fullers. My dad wrestled in Knoxville for 10 years, and I was wearing an AJ Cazana hoodie. I think it's my hoodie. It just says Big Cazana across the top or whatever. And somebody pulled me to the side and said, Cazana, are you any relation to John? And I'm like, yeah, I am. So, are you any relation to Joe? It's like, yeah, I am. So it helped a little bit, and it
yeah
helped got my foot in the door, at least in the East Tennessee area. But it's a unique name. And I don't think anybody in professional wrestling, if they do, they're stealing it, because I know all the Kazanas personally. If you see another Cazana from anywhere that's not in this area, there may be a few that try wrestling at some point everywhere else. I don't know everybody everywhere at the point, unfortunately, we've got extended family that aren't Kazanas, but that are Kazanas, if that makes sense.
yeah
So it's a very unique name, and I knew that going in, and my name's Andrew Joseph, and I was like, oh, AJ's great. People love AJ Styles. I like AJ Styles, and then just I cling to it, man. I love that. It's
a cool name. It's a cool name. It's a unique name too, because I've never even heard even on the outside world like a Cazana.
Right. So like I know there's a group of them here in Knoxville. There's some up in Indianapolis. You got a few. Where did my Yaya say they immigrated to originally? I mean, they were in New York. I got a couple in New York. I think there's one or two out in Texas right now. That are we're all cousins or whatever. But
Yeah,
dude, it's a super unique name. And I was like, this will work. My dad will like it. I'll like it, and we'll roll with it. And it did help, again, like in East Tennessee, especially. People love the Kazanas in East Tennessee. They've always, for whatever reason, loved the Kazanas. And I just like to imagine I'm giving it a good name,
yeah, for sure.
Just a little bit.
You're gonna blow up the name too, bigger than it ever was.
Trying to.
Do you like going out there with your pops?
Yeah, he's I'm here. I love him to death. That's my guy.
Yeah.
My brother's my guy. Those are my two dudes. The fact they get to travel the roads with my family, and my mom will tag along every once in a while. Again, she doesn't really care for wrestling, but she loves her boys, and she'll support us in anything that we decide to do.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing. Not the best thing about it, but that's what we all like about it. We appreciate that about it.
Yeah.
And we just try to show her the same level of support. But we getting to go with Dad and travel with him and stuff is a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. In today's wrestling, things are a little faster paced than they used to be, or they're a little different in ring versus when he was wrestling. And he recognizes that, and we recognize that, and we listen to what he tells us and his opinions and his critiques, because he does have a ton of knowledge about wrestling. He's got guys like Aaron Stevens, Trevor Murdoch, Billy Corgan, like they all talk to him about wrestling. They all respect his opinion. So if they're respecting his opinion, JR Kratos loves him to death for some reason. I ain't figured that out yet, but I love that. It's cool. My dad gets to hang out with these guys, and they all respect him. They see the same man that I see. So why wouldn't I listen if they're asking questions to him and getting his opinions?
Yeah.
So we talk, we mesh our ideas together, and we mesh like this new school, because I'm traveled. I've been all over the country, been over the world. So we're wrestling my new school stuff with his old school stuff, and we just kind of get this perfect little harmony. He forgets his place sometimes. Now, that much I will say, he's almost 60. It's bound to happen at some point.
Yeah.
And this is where I'll get the phone call when this airs. It's like, you telling people my age, I'll slap you. I'll put you back where you came. I brought you in this world, I'll take you out, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But no, man, working with him is easy. He looks great in that white suit. I've got a white Cadillac with the big horns picked out for him already that me and my brother's kind of tweaking towards trying to get for his birthday. I think that'd be a great addition to his his parking lot he's got at the house. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, he's a hoot, man. Traveling with him's hard sometimes because I just want to like shut him out and not talk to him. He always wants to talk to me. You know, sometimes you just want to go off in your own little la la land, and he doesn't like that. He wants to talk, and I'm like, Dad, it is 4 a.m. We just got done wrestling 4 hours ago. I ain't slept. Leave me alone. Let me throw my headphones on.
Yes, sir. That's funny you mentioned the mix of like old school and new school because you can tell, man, and I think that's kind of like what you guys stand out is it's a mixture of that. You're not like just I want to say again, but just not a throwback to the old school. You're actually like a new age old school tag team. Looks like
it's the look, the size, the feel of an old school tag team, and then you throw like I got a couple things that I do that are new school that we put a little tweak on for me. But I mean, you can watch my stuff and you can tell who I'm watching. I'm watching Hanson. I'm a huge Hanson nerd. I love Hanson, Funk, Gordy, the Freebergs, the Midnights, the Rock and Roll. Like, yeah, you get it. Like, we. That's who I am. KC, I've got him. You got him watching a little. I love sitting him Brad Armstrong stuff. I don't know if you've had the chance to watch a ton of Brad Armstrong, but Brad may have been one of the greatest wrestlers to ever walk planet Earth. Brad Armstrong and Art Anderson, Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner. We actually stole the name. Well, we got the name given to us by Uncle Tim, so the White Lightning gimmick. So he's cool with it. But yeah, no, we watch a lot of that, but we also realize that we have to have a little sizzle with our steak. So we can get you a nice fat porterhouse of a steak, but if there ain't no sizzle with it, it's people are just like, oh, it's just a big old steak. If that makes sense, that's a hell of an analogy. I'm a genius. Just kidding. No, somebody else told me that. But yeah, I think it's what makes us stand out, man. You see this old school looking tag team, and then we get in there and we can move like athletes. We talk like I talk, Hanson, Brody, whatever. Funk is kind of where my mindset is, but it's a weird mixture, and it's been hard to like refine, and we're still in the process of refining because we're both bigger than hell. And we've got, again, you got a great support cast. You're going to get far in this business. And we've got enough people that aren't afraid to tell us, hey, that's stupid. Or, hey, why the hell are you doing it that way? Try it this way. Or why don't you look at this and then come up with that? And it's working. And I don't know. I've told somebody that I was on another podcast. Again, dude, I've done like 14 podcasts, it feels like, in the last week. That ain't true. I wish I was that popular. But like, it's I don't even think across all spans of professional wrestling you've seen anything quite like the Country Gentleman. A family rooted in rich culture. Yeah. Not only are we, Southern, but like we've got a Greek heritage that goes back thousands and thousands of years. We're both college athletes. We've got our pop in the corner who's a 40-year vet at this point. We dress in all white, which is a huge fashion statement. That's hard to keep white clean. Oh yeah. But then our in-ring style and the way we present ourselves out of the ring, it's very unique. And I'm just tooting my own horn at this point. It's very unique. And like I said, you think back to like the Funk brothers, like, yeah, they were great. Two of the best to ever do it. I met Dory Funk. Dory Funk's got the same ambiance of just, I'm a badass MFer. Yeah. He's 80, I think he's in his 80s now, or maybe a little older. And like, I still look at him and I'm like, I wouldn't mess with that guy. No. Terry, I'm sure, was the same way. I never got to meet him, but you meet these guys but I don't know any other, the Smoking Guns maybe, but I don't know how, it's similar but different. Yeah. And it's hard to describe. It's indescribable, as the kids say. Or as the scholars say.
Yeah, that's good. Standing out.
Oh yeah. That's the name of the game, baby. Standing out and standing out and staying on top, staying relevant is hard for professional wrestling. And right now, me and KC it's been a slow build to relevancy within the NWA and within independent wrestling. It's been a slow build for us, but we're a finished product as far as packaging. Now is when we start to learn deep psychology, deep ring awareness, like the deeper stuff that gonna get us paid a lot of money. Yes, sir. A lot of gold, get us some world titles. You know what I'm saying? So like, we now have a fully packaged product visually. Now we're getting to the point to where it's like, oh shit, these guys are actually good. They don't just look pretty. They aren't just fun to watch. I don't just love to hate them or whatever your deal is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, yeah, dude, it's a weird feeling, and we're fine. It feels like we're coming into something. Hell, I don't know. We may not. They said I'll flunder tomorrow. I could say something tonight that makes it go phew.
No, you guys are on the right track. You're talking about titles. You won your first NWA US Tag Title in Knoxville.
Yeah.
How awesome was that feeling?
It was pretty incredible. Like I said, I've won championships in football. I helped coach a team to a state duels championship in wrestling. I've had individual like it was I would say it's a step above that, because it's just kind of it's a mark that somebody somewhere trusts you, somebody
Yeah,
somewhere believes in you, somebody somewhere sees the value that you bring to their company. And like it didn't hit me. I walked through the curtain, like I don't cry, but like I kind of, I shut down a little bit. I separated myself to let this sink in, that this was a real thing. That I'm holding the same titles that Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane held, that the Midnight
yeah,
Express walked around with, that the Steiner brothers walked around with, Ivan Koloff, Dusty, all these guys held these titles, man, and it's cool to be. I'm not even close to. I don't think we're even close to anywhere of those, like the top tier tag teams in the professional wrestling world or the NWA. I'm not holding myself in the same regard, but it's damn sure real cool that somebody at least thinks that I could be. So I give it was, and they do it in front of the family. Dad was there. He was working. He wasn't managing us. He was just there. We used our ring, so he was doing all the ring setup and stuff. Fun fact: ring broke that night, so we had 17 ratchet straps around the base of it on
oh,
live power from Knoxville, the only live power we've ever done. And so he was there working. Mom was front row. I think I had some family front row. I had a lot of friends from work. I had guys from SPCW, John Jeffers and Matt Bowens, and that were in the crowd, that gave me kind of like my first little startup, and gave me an opportunity to do this a lot more and kind of
yeah,
wrestle my own way and let me just kind of be free. And I know there was other promoters and stuff in the crowd that had let me come on and develop myself and to the point to where we're at now.
yeah,
So it was and doing it in Knoxville, man, was just so great, because Knoxville is a history rich town for professional wrestling, and I don't think it gets the credit it deserves for that. So being able to do that in my hometown and then go hug my mama right after was pretty freaking cool.
yeah. A lot of people don't get those kind of moments.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I've told her, it's like, there's going to be a day where there's a world title match that I'm a part of, and it's going to come home around my waist. So pack your bags and be ready to fly. Her, my Aunt Edna, my cousin Dusty, my mom, and Yaya, God willing, if they're still with us. I've told them, I was like, be ready, because I need you there.
Yeah,
I
got to get
wouldn't
that
want to
10
do it.
pounds of gold.
Wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Let's get into your upcoming shows, man, because you got a bunch of them. This Saturday, March 15th, you're in Pittsburgh for Pros of Wrestling. You're
Yep.
defending U.S. titles against some Canadians, Los Medicos, man. I
Yeah, it
mean,
never really clicked with me.
yeah, like how I don't even know what to say to that. Canadians and I'm assuming they're luchadors wearing masks.
They are considered luchadors, at least in the mask wearing department. They are Canadian apparently, and you can love me, you can hate me, but we can all agree Canadians are soft-spined individuals. They're yellow-bellied cowards, and when the first bullets start flying, they start running. They ain't done nothing for the world. I don't know anything they produced except for maple syrup and about 5 or 6 good wrestlers. Um, the Hearts, I guess.
Yeah,
But outside of that, yeah, I don't. They booed our national anthem, and then our hockey team went to kick their asses. Of course, we lost in the finals due to golden goal. I'm not gonna. I think that's because they wouldn't let us fight them. I don't
yeah,
know, but I don't know, dude. Back to back World War champs is all I'm saying. USA,
yeah, man.
USA.
Yeah,
And we're defending our United States tag team titles as well. So we'll see how that goes. And then defending the U.S. titles against some Canadians should be a lot of fun. And that's in
yeah.
Pittsburgh it's actually a benefit show for the food bank up there. We're doing it's I know it's around Bruno San Martino where he kind of grew up or where he made his name. The guy was telling me the whole story. Yeah, there's a lot of good wrestling. Corey Graves is going to be there. Stan Hansen's going to be there. You got us, Beastman, Sam Adonis, Los Medicos, a couple other people. But yeah, it's I mean, my dude Dalton McKenzie's going to be there. I know for a fact, so I'll be fun to see him in a different environment outside of JCP. And it's yeah, I never like I said that in the promo I cut. Los Medicos from Canada. Yep, don't make a lick of sense to me.
That's good. You get to whoop up on some Canadians for a good cause. So
I always love whooping up on Canadians, verbally or physically.
March 22nd, NWA Hard Times in Dothan, Alabama.
Hard Times 5, baby. Yeah, we got. I don't know if you've seen the match announcement for that yet, but they did announce it at some point in the night a couple weeks ago. We've got 2/3 of the Southern Six. Now,
you guys got beef with them, right?
Well, they think they're bad. We think we're bad. It's just two bad groups going at it. Hell, we've been all over the road fighting the Southern Six. Different iterations. Kerry Morton and Silas Mason. Alex Taylor and Silas Mason. Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton. Well, hell, we wrestled them in the Crockett Cup last year. They put us out first round before they went to go win the whole thing. So it's a thing, and I think it's going to be one of those things that could build the levels of the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express. I think Silas Mason's pretty close, if not on his way to the mountaintop of beating, Tom Latimer if he can retain the title as long as he can. I know he's got a few big matches coming up, and then you've got Alex, who's a world junior heavyweight champion. But here's the thing: junior heavyweights versus heavyweights. So it's a whole different world when you step up to that 225 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Shoot, am I hearing stuff or you hearing stuff?
I heard something in the background. There you
Somebody sneaking in and out of the house. Can't see probably.
March 30th, you're in San Antonio, Texas for NWA Texas Dog Pound Championship Wrestling's Paradox. You know what you're doing there?
Well, don't forget, in the 29th, the day before, I'm at AML Wrestling.
Okay.
They haven't announced the match card yet, but that's going to be a big one for me to go to. I definitely make sure to get on that. NWA World Heavyweight Champion Tom Latimer versus Mr. Number 1 NWA legend George South. If you don't know George South, you better go look him up because he's one of the greatest professional wrestlers and people in the world. And he's never gotten a shot at the 10 pounds of gold. It's never been an official 10 pounds of gold match for him, and this is a huge one for him. It's a huge one for the NWA. I think it's a big one for AML, and I had to be there, so I called them, and they got me in a match. I don't know quite yet what we're doing. I haven't seen anything. I haven't been able to cut any promos or nothing, but we're there before. Well, I'm there. Casey is tagging along with me before we do fly out to Dog Pound, San Antonio, Texas for the NWA Texas territory. It'll be our first time out there defending our titles. If we retain, of course, against the medicos, the doctors from Canada. Who'll leave you waiting for 6 months before they get you in to see you for a checkup. I'm looking forward to Dog Pound, man. I love Texas. Texas hates us for whatever reason, but I guess I'd hate us too if I had to be saved by the great state of Tennessee. So they see cowboys from Tennessee and they're like, "Oh, you guys ain't real cowboys. Your Mexican food sucks." We get that kind of stuff all the time. So, we got that. And then I think I don't got nothing. The 31st is a Monday, but then the next week we're back at NWA Joe Cazana Promotions for, wait for it, Nobody's Fool. Great tag name, or great show name. Great poster. We got a lot of talent coming to that one. I'm not quite sure what we've got there yet, but we're working on getting some match graphics and getting the card booked and put together, and then we're zipping on up.
Is that's your dad's promotion, right?
Yes, that's dad's promotion.
It is. Do you get a payday out of that, or is it one of those I brought you into the way?
He said, "I paid for all your stuff for 20-something years. You can wrestle for me once for free." My dad, I've been doing it for 5 years, every time for free. Help it set up, tear down, book the show, do this, do that, produce it, post it on your socials, building what we are. Now, fortunately, like we've got a decent little office back there. Dad's the head guy, but we got Silas Mason in the office with his creative genius. You got him we got him helping with some production stuff. We got a great producer and Nate Shar from Accolades Productions. We got a hell of a talent roster, man. It's got to be the best talent roster in the territories by far. Alex Taylor rolls in, Plunky rolls in. We're having a couple new girls, we're having Jessica Rodden come in for a first time, and then Freya the Slay is coming back for the first time in a long time. So
Nice.
that card is stacked, and that's leading in. Here's the big drop because I ain't told nobody, and we just got the poster made. But June 6th, this show will lead into June 6th. We got the Caldwell Cup. That's
Nice.
right, the Caldwell Cup, named after the longest reigning, first ever NWA Southeastern heavyweight champion, Whitey Caldwell, who wrestled for my grandfather, who I've got the poster. I can send it. I'm going to post it soon. But we've got the Caldwell Cup that will lead. We'll have the nice trophy with Whitey's picture on it, the base with your name if you win, all that good stuff. It's a singles tournament, so it's a little different. It's right after Crockett Cup in May. So we're going to go ahead and just get our tournament out of the way in June. But winner of that gets a shot at the Southeastern heavyweight title whenever they want. It's kind of like Money in the Bank, but better.
Nice.
Because it's the Whitey Caldwell Cup. So
nice.
that's going to be a fun one. It's an 8-man bracket. Winner take all. First, I got the whole bracket ready to go. It's a matter of just getting the right day to post it and getting the talent graphic out as well. So
all in one night, or is it going to be two days?
In one night.
All right.
One night only. Now it will be on our YouTube and stuff, So, but 1 night worth of wrestling to take home the Whitey Caldwell Cup, the first ever Whitey Caldwell Cup, I might add.
There you go.
Then you step back to that. We got Crockett Cup May 17th, where I don't know if you've seen this. Natalia is going to be there.
Okay.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 2300 Arena. The old school ECW. This time I'm signing the wall. I forgot to do it the last time because they were rushing me. But yeah, we're back at the old ECW Arena there with NWA Crockett Cup 2025. Natalia is going to be there. I don't know who she's wrestling. I don't know if there's any other WWE talent going to be there. They don't tell me that stuff because that's way above my pay grade. I just get the graphics and post them like I'm a good boy. So we looking forward. And then there's tons of other independent shows here. We're in Arkansas, we're in Missouri.
I got you here. I got you April 6th. You're in Newport, Tennessee for School of Morton's The Cobra Strikes Back.
Yeah, let's put that over for a second. Santino Marella also just announced Aaron Stevens will be there.
Okay.
He'll also be at our show April 4th. We've got him that whole weekend. That's right. We got the manager of champions the whole weekend. He's got to hang out with us. Sucks to be him. We got him. There's a 2-day Santino seminar that I don't know if they've announced it yet. Doesn't matter. My dad, my brother, and myself will all be there. My brother is a trainer up at School of Morton, so he's in by default. But we'll all be there. I believe either Kinsey or Tom. I can't remember who from KFW is going to be there. Aaron is going to be there. So we're doing a little NWA territory evaluation. You've got 3 of the top territories in the NWA that'll be there. Eyes on talent, looking for new people to come in. We're always looking for new talent. We're looking for the next star. That's the whole point of the territory system, is to build and develop and find the new wrestling or the next wrestling stars in the world. I've got like 5 guys I'm trying to get over here from the UK and from Europe. If I could get them over here, they'd make me look real good. That's the talent scout. But we're doing that. I'm excited for that one. Santino is going to be there with the Cobra.
Yep. I got a feeling you're gonna make some nice pair of boots out of that Cobra, right?
Well, I already got snake skins. I told Santino I wouldn't kill his snake. I don't need cobras. I got pythons. We're good.
All right. Even better.
Carson Drake will be there. I believe Jack Vaughn's going to be there. I haven't heard that yet, but that's the rumor through the grapevine. I can't remember what other match. There's a lot of good matches on the card. They told me. I don't even know if they've announced any yet. But yeah, we're there. I forgot. I didn't forget about it, but it kind of slipped my head a little bit. But we're like I said, we're all over the place, dude. We're going back up to NWA Chicago May 2nd. We're out in damn California. I'm going back to Cali for the first time. I've never been to California. My brother's been to California. Not to wrestle. He just went out there.
That's April 13th. April 13th for the Travel to the 80s Grilled Cheese Festival.
12th and 13th. What's better than retro themed. I don't know if I guess travel to the '80s. Travel
Yeah.
to the '80s. NWA Professional Wrestling and grilled cheeses in sunny Southern California.
Yeah.
And if I can
What's
sneak off, if I can get away without wrestling one day, I might have to sneak out of there. I'm a big dude; it's hard to sneak around for me, but I might be able to sneak out. I'm going to Disneyland. I ain't telling nobody.
nice?
We'll go out there and see Mickey.
What's the best cheese to use on a grilled cheese?
I mean, I use American,
American. Keep it classic.
American all the way, brother.
Keep it
But like,
classic.
here's the thing: when I make a grilled cheese, it's like Texas toast, buttered on both sides. Here we're about to get real fancy. Texas toast, buttered on both sides. You take about three slices of cheese on one, and you stack them. They're in squares usually.
Yeah.
You go boom, boom, and then you turn it boom, so you get cheese in every bite. Do
Okay.
that. Put that down. You toast. Well, hold on. You got to toast one side of each of the bread.
Yeah.
Then you flip one. You put the cheese on the toasted side. Take the other toasted side. Actually, not done. I put 6 strips of bacon on there.
Oh, that's
3
nice.
more pieces of cheese. Then you take the toasted side of the other Texas toast, put it on top. Let that cook on the bottom for a little bit. Flip it about 30, 45 seconds. Best grilled cheese in the world.
It sounds like a good ass
People
grilled cheese.
people tell you to add mayonnaise or tomato to it.
Nah,
Wrong.
nah. You don't need that.
A little dash of love and you're good to go.
Yes, sir. April 18th, you could be in Vegas for Romania.
Hell yeah, we are 16th for Colorado Wrestling Connection on a Wednesday. We're defending U.S. tag titles on the 18th for This Is Manly that Friday. That one's a little bar show. It's going to get a little wild. We may even see a little. I want to call it. I'm trying to come up with this like theatric, this cool little match stipulation for us. I did a last call grudge match against Anthony Andrews, my old tag team partner.
mhm.
I'm trying to get this to be a last call grudge match where it's you do the drinking, you fight at the bar kind of thing, So
Yeah.
hopefully little bar fights, these will be all right. But yeah, man, I forgot. See, I forget all these things until I look at my calendar.
Not as good, man. You're busy. You're busy.
Pumped to go to Vegas, dude. I ain't been to Vegas in a few years. And go out there, see some people, see some old friends, do a little bit of wrestling, and hopefully come home safe and sound. Unless somebody wants to give me some seats or some tickets to Mania. I've never been to a WrestleMania. I'd love to go.
Okay.
I know. I made the joke the other day that if Triple H wanted to put me up in one of his boxes, if he's like, "Hey AJ, we got extra box seats. If you want one, I guess you could have one." Because he likes the NWA and the 10 pounds of gold and U.S. tag titles. So,
Yeah.
maybe if I just keep dropping this hint that hey Trips, I'd love to go sit in your box at Mania.
Get him a ticket.
Get me about 12. No, just one will do. One will do.
One
I'll sit in
do.
nosebleeds. That'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any teams out there you want to face?
Oh yeah. You ready? I got a whole list.
Go ahead. Let me hear the list.
It's just a matter of if they're man enough to come find me or not.
Okay.
Top of the list for me has to be FTR.
Yep.
But no matter how hard I try to poke the bear on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, nobody at AEW or nobody at Ring of Honor or whatever company they're signed to right now, like neither Dax. And Dax is the one I like messing with the most. Nobody ever responds. Nobody ever wants to get back in touch with me, and we're trying to make that one happen. Bad, because I don't know if I don't think they're on their last legs of wrestling, but I think their days of full time hitting the roads for indie wrestling is probably pretty close to being over, and you don't want to miss those guys before you get a chance, and that's one that I really really want. Now, I've got a friend. His name's Matt Taven. He tags with this cat named Mike Bennett. A couple good dudes, good looking, entertaining, fun to be around. The Kingdom is what I knew him as.
Yeah.
And I'd like to wrestle them, but Taven keeps ducking me. We'll talk about something, and then I'll say something about wrestling, and he'll just kind of he'll ghost me, as the kids say.
Okay.
So that's the Kingdom. No. I don't know if you watch Ring of Honor or AEW, but we had the chance to lock horns with these two brothers one time in a 6-man tag match. But the Outrunners.
Yes.
The Outrunners are top notch. The Outrunners are money. I've said it since I saw them. Like, these guys are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I love them. I want a normal tag match with them. I want this iteration of the Country Gentlemen versus this iteration of the Outrunners. I think it'd make a lot of money for somebody somewhere at some point.
Yes, sir.
Heath and Rhino's on that list. I've talked to them a couple of times and talked to the right promotions trying to get that one squared away. Hell, dude, Heath and Rhino at the daggum ECW Arena versus AJ and KC Cazana for the United States Tag Team titles would be a treat and a half if I was booking this stuff. But let's see, who else is out there right now that I mean, there's tons of tag teams that we know, that we've wrestled, that we like, that we don't like. But those
I just like it's starting to come back. This tag team wrestling starting to make a resurgence again. I think it's people starting to take it seriously
dude,
again.
It's a lost art, man.
It is.
And like you see it for a long time, a lot of these companies would throw two singles guys together and then send them on their way and be like, hey, good luck. And then they would just say singles guys. They weren't tag teams. They weren't in the true essence of it. You go back to the heyday of professional wrestling and the heyday, whatever your heyday is. But you again, you see the Midnight Express, you see the Funks, you see the Rock and Roll Express, the Heavenly freaking Bodies, even the Body Donnas, like the Smoking Guns, the New Age Outlaws, freaking Bubba Ray and Devon, even though they, Bubba likes getting heat. I like watching him get heat.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a heat magnet, and he does his goddamn job better than anybody I've seen.
Yeah.
Edge and Chris, like though, yeah, dude, like tag team wrestling used to mean something.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just faded off a little bit. And now it's hard to get booked on indie. It's not really hard to get booked on indie shows as a tag team, but you're having to pay two people instead of one.
Yep.
I don't think a lot of people want to do that. They'd rather just take two of their guys and just say, here, go third. But when tag team wrestling is done right,
yes, sir,
it ain't easy to match, man. It's tough. But I like, yeah, dude, I think it's coming back. The NWA takes a real strict, not real strict, but they're real serious about their tag team wrestling. They're real serious about the rules and holding the tag rope and the 4 or the 5 counts, and both feet have to be on the mat to make a tag, and not doing blind tags. And it's been an adjustment because you do wrestle indie shows where people just go, man, whatever, here, go put together a BS tag match and see what happens. And then to going into a company that does like tag team wrestling and takes that stuff seriously. I'm excited for it. I like to imagine that we're at the forefront of this rebirth of tag team wrestling. Here's one fun fact. I did see this somewhere. I want to say it was on Twitter after Natalya was announced for Crockett Cup. I saw somebody wanted to see the Country Gentlemen, obviously. Why wouldn't you want to see us? Versus the War Raiders. And I thought, I mean, if we're just throwing ideas out there, what better way to do it than that?
Yeah.
But so, I mean, there's a lot of I like tag team wrestling. There's a lot of tag teams, with those top 4 that I mentioned, by far FTR, the Kingdom, Heath and Rhino, and the Outrunners are probably who I've got my eye on the most right now. The Ass Boys, or whatever they are, the Gun Club. Sorry, the Gun Club. The Acclaim would be cool, but like they're right outside the top 5.
Yeah.
But I'd love to wrestle them. I just want to wrestle everybody, anywhere, anytime, any place. I want to prove that we're the best tag team on God's green earth, that we are making people like the Funks and Stan Hansen and Terry Gordy and Steve Williams, all these guys, that we would make them proud, and that they're proud to call us a tag team. And they're proud to say that, hey, I know those guys. Dennis Condrey looks at me and he's proud to say that he knows AJ Cazana. And I've never been more of a mark, except for that day when I get the text that says, hey, man, really big fan of your work. This is Dennis Condrey. I'm like,
yeah, that's
hell
awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So we're making it somewhere. But yeah, man, it's I'd like to imagine we're at the forefront of that. With some other great tag teams, but ain't nobody doing it like the Kazanas are doing it.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, man, what's the best part about being a wrestler?
I've been paid to travel the world. I've seen parts of the world that I know a lot of my family and a lot of people in my area aren't going to get to see. And I got paid to do it. And that's real cool. You get to meet tons of – dude, I've met so many cool people along the way. I've met a couple of trash bag people, but I've met some gold gods in this professional wrestling business. I've met people outside of the professional wrestling business that I wouldn't have met any otherwise.
Yeah.
So getting to travel the world and getting paid for it's pretty cool. Having merch that's got your face and your ideas on it. Again, the Visit Bullhead Ranch shirt available at NWA Shop. You just go to internationalwrestlingalliance.com. You just click the shop button. It's right there.
Right there.
And it's pretty, dude. Look at this.
It
They're
is.
watercolors. Now, you can't actually visit Bullhead Ranch unless you call me and ask me for permission. But, you know, for a small price, you can come to Bullhead Ranch. But seeing your face on merchandise, seeing your face on T-shirts, koozies, lunch boxes, posters especially. I get to be, I wouldn't say friends because he is my boss, but I get to say that I know Billy Corgan. That's cool. I've been to Smashing Pumpkins concerts. I thought I would have never gone to a Smashing Pumpkins concert if it wasn't for working for the man himself. You know, like I was never that guy. I wasn't a Smashing Pumpkins guy. Obviously, like I'm a country and western twang feller.
Yeah.
So like going there. Oh, I got to Riot Fest in Chicago. I got to see Slayer perform. That was cool. Not terribly big fan of like heavy metal screamo music, but that changed my life. That performance changed my life. I don't know why, but it did. It was wild. I never expected it.
I bet it was. Yeah.
Like I've been places I never would have wanted to ever go to California, except to go to Disneyland. That'd be about it, and see the redwoods there in Northern California. But man, getting to go out there and wrestle and getting paid to do it, get my flight covered, not having to pay for it, going to Vegas, doing the same thing. Like that's the cool part.
Yeah.
Like drinking with the boys after and just building friendships and relationships and getting to know people is fun too. But like, man,
not as cool. You get paid to have fun and travel the world. So
my dad's told me, and I've heard it from a lot of other people, you're lucky to leave this business with a few good friends and a hell of a lot of stories. So it's that part.
You're on your way.
Hell yeah, brother.
Go ahead and tell the people where they can find you at.
At AJ Cazana everywhere. This one.
Easy peasy.
It's AJ Cazana on Twitter, X, AJ Cazana on Instagram. You search AJ Cazana. I got a personal Facebook and a business Facebook. If you add me and you don't have anything to do with professional wrestling, I'm probably going to decline it. Just how I am. But you can go like the business page. I put more stuff on there. I put more stuff on there than I do my personal anyway. My personal is just so I can talk to my family, really, like extended family that, you know, or just keep up with some of the stuff that they're doing. That's what it was meant for.
Yeah.
But yeah, TikTok. I do TikTok occasionally. Not a lot. I'm trying to get better at it. I don't care for TikTok. I really don't care for social media. Instagram is my number one that I'm most active on, and that just trickles right over to Facebook and then Twitter if I get bored and I just want to say something controversial.
Yeah. So you don't do dances on TikTok?
No, if I thought I could get on there and get the two-step across, I'd probably try. People are doing all these weird little whoop, 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 whoop. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't like the music. Oh man, you ever try to post something on TikTok and you go through you post something, you go through like the little music, and it's like, okay, well these songs are popular right now.
Yeah.
And
TikTok's
got the trashiest selection of music in the world. Instagram will at least throw me a bone with like some George Strait. Toby Keith's usually pretty big on Instagram. He's usually always trending. So it's just I can't get behind the TikTok world. That's a young man's game. That's Gen Z and Gen Alpha or whatever the hell they're calling themselves. Ain't nothing alpha about Gen Alpha, but that's those folks. And like I don't the fast beats per minute. I don't fall into the category of needing a song 140 beats or 120 beats a minute to keep my interest.
Yeah,
I'll go listen to Hank Williams Sr. and some Zach Top and some Conway and like some old school stuff. I'll go listen to old school rock and roll. Like it's not my world, brother. So I stay far, far away from it. There's gonna be a day that comes where I do have enough money to pay a social media person, and then I'll probably blow up on TikTok. But until then, just find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter right here, AJ Cazana.
Easy peasy. AJ, man, really appreciate you coming on, man. Had a blast with you.
Hell yeah, bro. I appreciate you letting me talk my nonsense for as long as we have.
Absolutely. You guys have a good night. Thank you again.